Hello everyone, it's a great honor to have the chance to present my article here. I am Kuilong. I'm from City University, Malaysia. My article is a framework on the role of teacher corrective feedback to improve Chinese college students' second language writing proficiency. My presentation includes these 7 parts. First of all, let's come to Chapter 1, Introduction. It's mainly about the background of this study. It includes 2 parts. The first part is about the importance of second language writing. Second language writing ability is mostly accepted as a complex and a difficult task for EFL learners to obtain. And also, writing as a language acquisition skill is considered as a crucial resource in teaching and a challenge in learning in EFL education in China. The second part is about teacher corrective feedback. The importance of teacher corrective feedback in influencing proficiency of EFL acquisition among students has been a hot topic with the rise of process writing theory. Besides, the effects of teacher corrective feedback has been highlighted in several studies over the years. Then let's come to Chapter 2, Problem Statement. Firstly, a great bulk of Chinese students face with various of difficulties in second language writing. Secondly, teacher corrective feedback is not individualized and timely, which discourages students' motivation to learn. Thirdly, many students do not engage in the feedback process for not realizing the importance of it. Next, let's come to the objectives of this study. The first objective is to examine the experiences among junior college students on the effect of direct and indirect feedback by teachers towards their proficiency in English writing. Secondly, is to examine the junior college students' perception of direct feedback and indirect feedback provided by teachers on their English proficiency. The third objective is to examine the junior college students' recommendation for further improvements in the effectiveness of teacher corrective feedback for students' proficiency in English writing. Next, let's come to Chapter 4, Conceptual Framework. This framework has been proposed by Elise, but I will add something new to each component. The relationship of each component can be seen in Figure 1. Individual factors interact with contextual factors to mediate between the feedback that learners received and their engagement with the feedback, and thereby influence learning outcomes. Then let's come to the components one by one. Teacher corrective feedback can be divided into direct feedback and indirect feedback. Direct feedback means that teacher points out and corrects the errors directly, including crossing out unnecessary or recommending correct words and phrases. While indirect feedback refers to the feedback by teachers just pointing out the errors without giving corrections directly to enable students to be aware of corrections to their errors. Here are some studies on the effectiveness of the two types of feedback. However, their results are mixed, and some researchers turn their eyes to exploring the impact of the two types of feedback. Next, let's move on to the second component, individual learner factors. Individual learner factors affect students' engagement with written corrective feedback. These factors include age, gender, personality, memory, motivation, learning style, learning attitude, language goal, language proficiency, language anxiety, and learner beliefs, and etc. Here are some studies on individual learner factors. As shown here, such factors as proficiency, uh, pre prefecture, preference, proficiency level, language attitude, anxiety, and attitude towards effective feedback, and also learner belief have been noticed by some scholars. Then let's come to contextual variables. Contextual variables include both macro and micro factors. Macro factors refer to the settings in which learners take place. Micro factors include teacher-student relationships, class learning atmosphere, instructional approaches, and teaching methods, and etc. This section gives details of these two factors. And such contextual factors as instructional approaches, characteristics of written corrective feedback, teacher-student relationship, and students' attitude towards teacher have been noticed by some scholars. Next section is about learners' engagement. The term engagement in this article refers to the extent to which learners are invested or committed to their writing after receiving written corrective feedback from teachers. According to some scholars, engagement can be divided into three dimensions: behavioral engagement, affective engagement, and cognitive engagement. Uh, this section gives details about these three dimensions of engagement. Many current studies adopt language acquisition to measure learning outcomes. Ellis gives three definitions to language acquisition. However, studies on written corrective have been focused exclusively on the second one, an increase in the accuracy with which partially acquired features are used. Accuracy is often measured with the percentage of correct use of targeted features and the percentage of error-free clauses. Many studies have investigated the effects of teacher corrective feedback on accuracy of students' second language writing, but they got mixed results. From the above analysis, this article drops conclusions. Firstly, distinction in variables and measures lead to mixed results on studies or learning outcomes. Secondly, there are some limitations in the previous studies. Thirdly, measures and standards for learning outcomes are incomplete and inconsistent. Next, it is about the methodology of the study. Semi-structured interviews will be employed as data collection method. And here are 5 steps for proposed research. They are: formulate research questions, design interview protocol, sampling, participant recruitment, conduct interviews, and data analysis. As for data analysis, here are also 5 steps: transcription, coding, theme identification, data analysis, and interpretation. Finally, let's come to the conclusion of this article. This article attaches great importance to the variables involving written corrective feedback and provide a basis for examining each foregoing component separately and for investigating the relationships between them. Although this framework does not provide specific research methods to investigate these issues, it fails to deeply analyze and solve all the problems. It sheds light on some future research in the field. That's all for my presentation. Thank you.